Today's topic is a really good one. It's about how to actually keep your staff. It's very easy for people to hire. Well, it's actually not, but when you do manage to hire someone, it's great. But then it's actually keeping them. That's the challenge and everything. With WizeTalent, we don't just help people hire, we also teach them how to also keep their staff. So that's what today's topic is about. Just a little bit about WizeTalent. For anyone who doesn't know, we've done close to 300 hires, I think it is now, and we help firms all over the world with every position, whether it's onshore or offshore. We do it all. But the difference between us and other recruiters is that we're very transparent. So everything we do is documented and our clients get to see everything. So Tim, today's a really good topic, obviously, and there's a lot of staff with Causbrooks, so a lot of people that you've got to obviously deal with and all of that. So it's one thing to hire someone, but it's a whole other thing to actually get them to stay with the firm for a long time.
Yeah.
So what do you think are the top reasons employees leave organizations? And how can employers proactively address the issues?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's one of the things we've never had a big problem with at Causbrooks. I think people tend to stay with us for 5+ years, and it's worth at the very outset talking about stable terminals and how we define those. And we're really looking for stable terminals when we hire. You mentioned hiring before, Dani. We really want people to be employed at the same place for a minimum of 2 years, and anything from 2 to 5 years plus, I would describe as a stable terminal, which is really what we're trying to do. There's 4 reasons people leave, but overwhelmingly it's the people side of things. People leave their bosses. I don't know if anyone listening to this has friends that changed work during the pandemic. A lot of my mates changed where they were working during the pandemic, and they were stable terminals. And every single one of them, it was because of their boss. They left their boss. Like their boss retired or resigned or got promoted. They got a new boss they just didn't gel with. And that was overwhelmingly why people left. Andrew Wilkinson, I think he's like a billionaire. He's either a billionaire Canadian or American business owner. He said like the number one trait you need in order to grow your business is to be good at managing people. So that'll keep coming back in today's topic, I think. But people leave their bosses is number one. Lack of work-life balance would be number two. Number three would be there's no career prospects for progression, or they just stop learning. And number four would be personal issues, like maybe they have a kid or they move state, or something happens that stops them from being able to work that's really outside of the control of the employer. But you'll notice that 3 out of those 4 things really can be influenced big time by the employer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how it really does come back to management. But can you share some common mistakes companies make when trying to retain staff, like especially in today's competitive job market?
Yeah, this is a big one. So retaining people seems to be just as difficult as finding people. And it's definitely harder to find people than it was probably pre-COVID. I think that's partly due to it's become a bit more transactional. If you're working from home and you're working remotely, for instance, it's not as difficult or perceived as difficult to change jobs. You don't, the commute doesn't change. You're signing on with a different organization in the morning from your desk at home, if that makes sense. So retention, I think, is actually tougher than ever before. And I think it's tougher, for a bunch of reasons we'll dive into. I would say, like, number one, though, is really failing to seek to understand before being understood, as Dr. Stephen Covey says. And what I mean by that is a lot of owners, business owners or employers fail to see things from the employee's perspective. And they base rewards, for instance, around what they would want, not what the employee wants. And I've seen this happen in firms in Sydney, actually. they assume everyone wants more money because they want more money, when in fact some employees want more time with their family, and having an additional day off if they hit their monthly target or something actually makes more of a difference to them and their happiness levels than some more money in their account. So
Yeah.
I think really getting to understand what motivates your staff, understanding what they care about, and understanding why goes a long way to being able to retain the staff. You've got to understand them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of employers tend to they think that workers are just grinders, I guess,
Mm,
uh,
mm,
who just get in there and do the job. And yeah, but that's, I mean, yes, to an extent, everyone needs to do their job,
mm.
but everyone also has a life outside of work.
Right.
So
They're
yeah,
not robots. They're not robots. People aren't
exactly.
robots. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.